Hi, my name is Julia Santa Fe, and today I want to talk to you about life transitions. That moment where your life looks fine, but you don't feel like yourself anymore. And I want you to pause and think about the importance of this feeling, and I believe it's totally worth you listening to it. So, there may have been a very specific moment in your life when you started feeling like this, or maybe it just happened slowly. You don't even know exactly when, but even though things may look okay, you don't feel right. Something is off. And it doesn't need to be dramatically wrong for you to want to pay attention to it, in my opinion. Um, it is an unsettling feeling because what used to hold your life together doesn't seem to work anymore. And that can be scary or something you don't really want to pay attention to. So you may decide to go through your days like nothing happens. You show up in your relationships, you handle your responsibilities, you keep things moving the way you know how to. But there's a quiet growing awareness that something is stealing your thunder, something is robbing you from your inner peace, and you find yourself less joyful, less clear, and your life seems to be a little bit less meaningful. And if you tell yourself that this is not important, that you should be grateful, that it's just a phase that we all go through, and that maybe you're just over analyzing things, I want to tell you that if it's there, there's a good reason why. And there's nothing wrong for you to pause and take a moment, take some time to explore that, you know. Don't let your fear um, distract you from it or avoid it. Be on the contrary, be willing to explore it. Like, why do I feel like this? Because at some point, if you're honest, you may start to see a pattern that repeats itself. Something like maybe you've been over adapting for a long time to what was expected of you, to what felt safe, to or most urgent, to what made sense for everyone else. And slowly you may have stopped asking yourself what it is that you really want. And that is an important question. What do you really want? And what will be the next thing that you need to do that will pick you up, that will carry you on strong, that will make you feel excited about life again? Not every day, but enough days for you to know that you're on the right track. Um, so, who you were doesn't carry you forward in the same way it did. And what used to work doesn't seem to work in the same way either. And that's where it becomes uncomfortable. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you may ask yourself, okay, and now what? What do I do with it? And what I want you to know is everything is just fine if you allow yourself to pay attention to it and get curious about it. And this is actually the part that most people try to skip. They rush into fixing things or making decisions to change things when it's too soon. Um, but I believe that's not what you really need. What I believe is that you just need to reconnect with yourself. You know, put your first put yourself first. Because chances are that you haven't done that for a while. And you don't, and try not to do it through pressure or urgency or fear, because it won't work. It won't give you what you need. You have to just be a little bit more natural. Like, you know, if there's something bothering you, then you're allowed to ask why and dig a little bit deeper. And for that, you need to choose intentionally to want to make time for yourself, to be present with yourself, learning to sit with you again and to feel your own pulse, metaphorically or not metaphorically, but to slow down enough for you to feel your own rhythm, your own pulse, and to just breathe and trust that even if what comes up at first seems unclear or inconvenient or emotionally uncomfortable, trust that it will serve you, move forward, to move forward. Because clarity comes from just being willing to listen. And when you're willing to listen, then you listen to everything that's there. And it's not all pretty or easy to hear, right? But when we open up to that with curiosity, with compassion, with respect, with time, and then we also start feeling from that moment that we matter. And that in and of itself is quite pleasant and healing. And from that place of self-leadership, something will start to shift. You will quietly begin to see where you may have been abandoning yourself, where you may have been saying yes when you really wanted to say no, where your life no longer reflected your values, your inner truth, your desire, When did that start happening? Was it a long time ago? Most likely it was. And this is what sensitive self-leadership actually looks like. It's not a loud, inconvenient, dramatic self-talk. And it's not pushing yourself to having it all meet the demands and the expectations of everyone else and trying to make it all look perfectly together. Self-leadership is just honoring yourself, and when something is bugging you, putting yourself first every now and then, and just stop and listen to that truth that's trying to come through. And most likely it will carry you forward and help you develop in new ways. So it's not like you have to change everything dramatically. Maybe you just need to change the way you show up in your job, in your relationships, in your life, right? So it's not about changing the outside, but changing how you show up from the inside, making sure that you are connected to what's important to you, your values, your desire, your needs, and that you're making time to nurture yourself, that you prioritize your well-being, not to look perfect, younger, or, whatever the standards throw at us, but just to feel good in your skin and to be able to relax if you're stressed, or to be able to get curious about your mess, whatever it seems to be clouding your mind, and putting it on paper, start at some point, start putting it into words and see where that takes you. So if this speaks to you, I would love to encourage you to stop and take that time to listen. Maybe you want to start journaling. Maybe you just want to start breathing. So stop doing all the many things that we could be doing and prioritize doing nothing once in a while, and just connect with your breathing, listen to your heart, and listen to your body, and see what emotions are bubbling up inside of you, if it's sadness or anger. And don't be afraid of that. It's all natural. It's all exactly how it needs to be for you to feel better once you honor it and you address it with love and compassion for yourself. Being human is messy. Being human is not always easy or a steady line. It's full of detours. Sometimes you go back in order to move forward. Sometimes you you feel you feel lost, and that doesn't mean that everything is wrong. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you need to prioritize your energy, how you manage your energy better, instead of being over focused on what everybody else needs. So whatever it is, my intention for this video today was just for you to address that nagging feeling that is with you, that has been with you for a while, and honor it in whatever way it's most natural for you. And sometimes the best way is to do nothing, but be present with yourself. Be present with your emotions, with your feelings, with your fears, your confusion, maybe you're bored, maybe you're afraid, maybe you're sad, maybe you've been sad for a long time. Who knows? Whatever it is, I can guarantee that putting yourself first and honoring yourself, it's going to do you good. And this was my intention for this video today. So I would love to hear if it was useful, if you enjoyed this video. Write me your experience right now, if you resonate with you feeling off and having felt off for a while, and what you do about it, whether you ignore it or you address it, or what it is that you do. As a highly sensitive person, I can guarantee that, the way things run these days, we are overloaded with information and stimulus and an endless to-do list. So as a highly sensitive person, as an empath, I wouldn't be surprised that you are saturated, that you're highly stimulated by your daily life. And that's why I think it feels right for me to invite you to stop and breathe and feel your feelings and feel your physical body, and maybe write a few things on your journal and see if that feels good and it's something that you want to go back to. I will encourage you to do that and find that oasis, that part of your day or that day in your week, those few minutes a day, or in whatever way it works for you, but find that time that starts to be sacred for you. I think it will do wonders for your life as a sensitive person. And self-leadership is definitely the way to go when you're overly sensitive and empathic, because if you don't manage your mind, if you don't manage your energy, nobody else is going to. And they would just deplete you from it, all the, just the way life works these days, in the 21st century. It's just busy, busy, go, go all the time. So you have to decide that it's time to stop and it's time to do other things that are more inward, that are more for you. So anyway, I'm sending you my love, and write me in the comments if this video was useful. Maybe you want to subscribe to my channel for more videos on how to be a bold empath and how to be able to thrive in your life, even if life is not meant to be feeling good 100% of the time. But if 50% of it feels like it's aligned with you, it's going to be a life worth living, and it's going to be full of meaning. So that's what I wish for you and for myself. Take care. Talk to you soon.